Hello YouTube, Pokemon Legend Master here with another video. I really gotta get a better name for myself. Anyway, I challenged a guy today to a Wi-Fi match, mainly because I wanted to have something, and I better get into the actual match. I lead off with my Raikou named Hunter. He's actually a modest Raikou, and he has a Darmanitan, and I'm scared that he's going to outspeed me with that Choice Scarf, because most Darmanitans run Choice Scarf. So I Volt Switch out, thinking I could maybe take a single hit and like switch out afterwards. I was surprisingly faster though, so I figured at that point he's got to be banded. So I bring in Great Wall, who's got nearly 600 defense with the Violite. He doesn't mess around on the defensive end. So he goes for the Flare Blitz, and it keeps going down, 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 and it's not a critical, and I'm staring at that damage going, whoa. So I just go for the Shadow Sneak just to kill this guy off, because that's the only way I'm going to kill him. He's going to outspeed me and kill me if I don't. And Great Wall, as great a wall as it is, could not take the choice-banded Flare Blitz, because that's the only way he could have done that much damage. So he goes into Donphan, sets up his rocks, and I know he's going to set up the rocks here, because that's what Donphan likes to do. So I Pain Split, and get almost all my health back, except like 3 HP, which is great, which means I'm back in the game here with Dusclops. He can still wall, he can still burn things, he can still Shadow Sneak and Seismic Toss all over the place, which is great. So he goes for the Earthquake here, and I'm not really fearing it because I'm Dusclops and I'm pretty much bulky tank. So I go ahead and get the Will-O-Wisp off and burn his Spinner, which is great because if I can get rid of his Stealth Rocker and his Rapid Spinner, I can use my own Fortress to set up all sorts of entry hazards on him. So the burn does some damage, and I decide I'm going to switch here because Dusclops, I'd like to use you later. And I go into Fortress so I can get rid of his rocks and put up my own rocks and spikes if I get the chance. And I know I'm slower than him because I'm running a Sassy Nature, which I believe is a negative speed nature. So his Earthquake does paltry damage to Immortal, who has maximum defense investment. He doesn't have much HP investment, unfortunately, which does kind of hurt him a lot, but at the same time his defenses are much higher because of this. So he goes for another Stealth Rock, thinking he's slower, but it turns out I'm slower, so I get the free Rapid Spin, get some more damage on him with the burn and the Rapid Spin and all that, and I'm going to be able to set up my own rocks here, because I'm pretty sure at this point he's either going to switch or he's going to try to set up rocks again. And he'll figure, I'm doubting he'll do that because, well, it'd be kind of pointless. I'm going to burn stall him. So he switches out here, and he goes into Rampage, which is his Dragonite, which actually scares me a lot because a Dragonite is a serious threat no matter which way you look at it. So I go ahead and set up my rocks. But if I remembered correctly from our first game, this guy was a bulky or a physical Dragonite, which means I've got Skarmory, which runs max HP, max defense, and so I'm hoping that it'll be able to take the hit. I bring in Demon Bird, and I know I'll be able to at least take one hit because of my Sturdy. And he goes for his Dragon Dance on the switch, of course. It makes sense to do that after all. And my only hope here is to Whirlwind it away. Otherwise, he's going to just destroy me. And he has Fire Punch, and at this point I'm going, oh no. But it surprisingly does just a little over half, which really surprised me. I did not think Skarmory was going to be quite that bulky, but I'm glad he is. So back into Donphan, which means he's going to get more burn damage, he's going to get rock damage, and that's going to put him into a very difficult place. Do you stay in or do you go out again? Tough decision. So I actually roost here because, one, I'd like to get my health back up to full so I get my Sturdy back, and two, it lets me kind of scout what he's going to do without too much fear of taking serious damage. Unless he Earthquakes, but I doubt it, and I'm still not going to take that much because he's burned. So he goes ahead and sets his rocks back up, which kind of surprised, well, it doesn't surprise me, but he sets his rocks back up, and I go ahead, and I believe I actually switch here, if I remember correctly. I just did this, but I haven't watched. Oh yes, I just go for the drill peck, because he's really quite damaged, and a drill peck should finish him off, and it does. So I'm looking pretty good here. He goes into Genesect, though, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, Scarf Genesect. Skarmory can't take a flamethrower, especially a special attack boosted flamethrower. So I go ahead and switch out, knowing Skarmory doesn't want to take that. Oh, sorry. And go back into Great Wall. And I know I'm probably going to lose my Great Wall here, but I figured he's done good work, and I'd rather sacrifice him than have Fortress killed or something, because I'd really like to keep my Rapid Spinner until that stupid Donphan's dead, and until I can get some entry hazards up. Go for the Shadow Sneak just to get as much damage off as I can before going down, which the second Flamethrower will clean Dusclops out, unfortunately. And he's scarfed, I believe, but even scarfed, I bring in Salamence thinking I can outspeed him because I am running a max speed Mixments, which most people run like a Modest or something like that, so it has a little more attack power. I went for speed because I figured with Moxie I should be able to have more than enough power, and this will make him a great revenge killer, giving him that extra speed. So he has like 329 speed or something like that. I'd have to look it up, but he's fast. And he brings in Celebi, and I'm going, wow, well, that's good Fire Blast material. But he double switches here. So he takes some more Stealth Rock damage on both. But he does get me to fire off another Fire Blast instead of doing something different, which is okay, I guess, but even still, that does a nice chunk of damage. We're talking about a Slowbro. This guy's bulky or all get out and whatnot, so I see I'm not doing that much, but I switch out and go back into Fortress because I know at this point I can go ahead and set up my own entry hazards and whatnot, and hopefully avoid the status effect with my Salamence, which I do, and Fortress gets the paralysis instead, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is, I guess. So we're actually going to be in a little bit of a stall war here because we're both bulky defensive Pokemon. He's a little more offensive than I am. I actually have a surprise move on this Fortress. I'm not going to say what it is this time, but and unfortunately I don't get to use said surprise move, but it's still a good move to have up the in the wing. So I get rid of my rocks on my side with a quick rapid spin and get some health back, and we're just going to kind of sit here and hit each other pretty lightly. He's going for the Ice Beam and predicting me to go back into Salamence, but I don't. I decided, well, I'm going to get at least my rocks up, but I get paralyzed, which really stinks, but fortunately for me, this next turn upcoming, I'm not going to get paralysis again, and I'm going to be able to put up Stealth Rocks. He goes for the Ice Beam, again predicting the switch, and I haven't switched yet. I've decided Fortress, he's paralyzed, he's in bad shape. I might as well just get as many entry hazards up as I can before I die. So I get a layer of Toxic Spikes up, which will play a big part upcoming, because those spikes being on the field will mean all of his team members are going to take damage consistently, which is going to hurt him overall. He goes for the Scald here, realizing I am not going to switch, and kills off Fortress. But he does a lot of good work for me, gets rid of entry hazards time and time again, and then manages to put up entry hazards on the opponent's side, so I can't ask for more. Then I go into our game ender, Lucario. Well, I hope he's the game ender. So I lead off with the Crunch. Kind of surprised me to see that Lucario could use Crunch. I didn't think he could. And even better, I get the defense drop on the first turn, which is going to force him to switch out, even though he's going for the Thunder Wave, and he gets the Paralyze, of course. And apparently I can't say Paralysis today. So, I know he's probably going to switch because he doesn't... Or, wait, I don't know what he's going to do, so I just go for the Crunch again, I believe. Kind of hoping he'll stay in and take a -1 to his defense Crunch, which would have been amazing. But I go for the Crunch here, and it does decent damage. Not overly amazing damage, but decent damage. And he gets his leftovers, and then I show that I have extreme speed. Which means even though he's going for the Dragon Dance this turn, it's not going to help him, and he's going to lose Dragonite. And then he makes a play I don't fully understand myself. He actually switches out here, which I have Stealth Rocks up, so if he brings Dragonite back in, it's going to die anyway. So I really didn't understand that play at all. Goes back into Slowbro. And so I get another extreme speed off. And he's poisoned. So now Slowbro's on a timer. Unless it has slack off, which it might. But it's still a timer. Because I haven't unveiled one more of this Lucario's moves. Which I think at this point there's only one way for me to beat down this Slowbro, and that's with a good old Sword Stance. And to my surprise, I actually outspeed the Slowbro even though I'm paralyzed, which I didn't think that was even possible, where you could be so slow that a paralyzed Pokemon still outspeeds you. He gets a Scald. It does a little under half, and so I know I can take another Scald, and I don't have to worry about the burn because I'm paralyzed, which is great, because a burn would completely destroy this Lucario. So I get another Sword Stance off. I'm thinking I'm going a little gutsy here doing that, but a +4 Crunch will do a ton of damage, and won't leave him a lot of HP, and if he survives it, the poison will probably take him out, which I'm kind of hoping the Crunch will do it. But if not, well, Crunch will still do a ton of damage. So I go for the +4 Crunch here, and seeing he's at half health, there's no way he's going to survive the +4 Crunch. He goes down, and now he's forced into a very difficult situation, because his only healthy enough Pokemon to bring back in is Celebi, which I actually thought about putting on this team. And so it takes a little bit of damage from the rocks, and then it also takes the poison. So I just go for the extreme speed, expecting Lucario's and Reign of Terror to be over. But his health keeps on going down, 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 and I just kind of stared when I saw that. I was like, wow, Celebi's bulky, and yet that extreme speed just completely annihilated him. And so it forces him to bring in his Dragonite, and it goes down to the Stealth Rock damage. Meaning, this game ends at 4-0. Good game. I really enjoyed